want to do, and that's what we're going to do this evening. So I just want to put a question out there to y'all on Facebook, on Zoom, who are joining us. I just want you to give me a word. I just want to kind of get a sense of what word comes to mind when you think about this situation with Will and Jada. The red table talk that was done was really showing and responding to August Alsina, who is a young singer. I think he's like 27 years old or so now. And he came on to the national landscape and did this really, really big, explosive interview with Angela Yee from Breakfast Club, right, on her own, her own personal thing that she has online. And he talked about the fact that he had been in this relationship and he had gotten permission. I think somebody else said, you need to hurry up and finish these. He had gotten permission. I'm sorry, y'all, I'm doing multiple things. Permission from
you should just give me you need to hurry up and finish these.
I mean, I see more people asking, and then you're still like, you're not reading? What are you doing?
I'm just trying to, I'm moving in my pace.
Don't mind us, y'all. So he said he got permission to be in relationship with Will's wife. There have been many reports over the years, out there about their relationship, about Will and Jada's marriage, and the fact that they have an open marriage and that kind of thing. They have responded to those kinds of reports, denying those reports. And so there was a lot of talk around, wow, this guy August came out and said this. And I know for me and for many people that I heard, as we watched him, as we listened to him, and the internet started to steam up, folks was listening to him and like, wow, he got to be telling the truth. This man, this brother is, you can see it in his eyes, you can see it in, his body language. The words he's using, the level of authenticity that's coming through the screen, like, whoa, what is going on? And so everybody started talking about the fact that he said he was in a relationship over a period of time with Jada, who is, I would presume, she's 20 plus years his senior, right? And she's had him on her show before as he came and talked about his substance use issues. And that kind of thing. And so there are a lot of questions, a lot of thoughts. So I just want to know. I want to see what word comes to mind when y'all just think about this situation. What do you think about it? What do you think about? Okay, so I see some words. Some folks are saying, read some of the comments, because I just want to know what's the essence of this that folks are getting.
Yeah, I see somebody saying that August was vulnerable with Jada, and it appears she used him for her own means.
Wow.
He knew that particular person because Will said that the whole family was involved in his life. It was some wordplay going on. Another word that's coming up is codependency. We're definitely going to speak about that tonight. Another word that came up is crazy. I'm seeing foul. I'm seeing how do they keep it together? Somebody said my word is ew. Ew.
Give us some more on the
I'm seeing over here on YouTube a lot of hurt. Thank y'all over there on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in and checking us out.
Victim.
Somebody said unstable. I'm seeing victim. Yes.
Ooh.
A number of different words coming through.
And over here on Facebook, wow. Okay, Zakia. And I see the same word coming from Sharice. Predatory, very predatory. Predatory behavior. Somebody
said I predict a divorce coming in the near future.
Oh wow. Complicated is what Maisha said. Dangers of codependency. Void. I need to get some more of these comments. You guys are keeping it 100.
Sharice said, I feel like Jada was not trying to say she was in a relationship, like she slipped and fell. Kind of like she would say, I slipped and fell on a D. How do you get in an entanglement, in quotation marks? Bad marriage for life spoke volumes.
Toxic.
It spoke volumes to me when they said that.
Bad marriage for life. We got to talk about it. It was like bad marriage for life.
Yeah, the pound on that. The Obama pound on that.
Yeah.
Fist bump. Yeah.
Bad marriage for life. But I think there's a couple of ways to look at that. So what we saw in terms of the responses, guys, we saw a subset of people really supporting, at least is what I saw, and y'all drop and let us know what y'all saw. A subset of folks who were like, I just love them even more. They just keeping it 100. Marriage is hard work. It's a lot of stuff that goes on. And, the fact that they, gave us the opportunity, right? We had the privilege of seeing into their world is just amazing and just awesome. You know what I'm saying? and that kind of thing. So there were folks who were really kind of supporting their ability to sit before the world with such a very private and painful situation. And then there were those who, much like what I'm hearing from y'all, I see Lynn talking about toxic, very toxic, who are like, this is toxic, this is dysfunctional, the codependency, the taking advantage of stuff going on here. August was, not stable. He was sick, as they put it, when he came into their life, and then she involves herself in a romantic, intimate relationship with this young man. Wow. And there were many people who lifted up, wow. And when he had his interview, he talked about the fact that if I died,
Yeah,
if I
I'm good.
died tomorrow, I know that I have
I'm
experienced
good.
love, right?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, on the other hand, Jada says, I found myself in an entanglement, right? And so she has a different perspective on that, so to speak.
Yeah.
My
But she
goodness.
was also very defensive, and she defiantly said he wasn't a homewrecker. She made that thing clear.
She did. She
He ain't
did.
no homewrecker,
He,
like
right. We
Yeah.
already had some situations over here.
Mm-hmm.
Because Will said, "What? I'm gonna get you back."
Yeah.
Hold on, did y'all
Yeah.
check that? Let's just
Let's
jump in.
just.
I'm gonna get you back. And then she said, "I think he done already did that." And I heard somebody on social media said, "No, he really meant I'm gonna get you back again."
Yeah.
Again. So let's get into this, y'all. There are some things. There are some things that we see that are themes that we want you to pay attention to. And I don't know if you want to weigh in first, but I have my themes. There's some things that, again, as you're joining us tonight, that we can learn and unlearn from their relationship. But can I just
Yeah.
start, because I do want to set the table a little bit,
Okay.
and then we're gonna go in.
All right.
All right. See how I did that?
Hold on. You say we're gonna go in. Let's be careful and
I'm not
cautious.
saying go in.
Okay.
Like go on. Like go
Mm-hmm.
on them. I'm not saying go on them. I'm saying we're gonna get into all of the details.
Yeah.
But
Go ahead and set the table.
I know that a part of looking at this in a very honest way, from my eyes as a woman, as a wife, as a black woman, as a therapist, from your eyes as a man, as a black man, as a husband, as a therapist, right? Like we're going to have some transparency. But I want to set the stage, and I want to shout out my pastor, Anika Wilson Brown, this morning. She stay keeping us on our game, and I love it. Why didn't you do this one on purpose?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So she stays keeping us on our game in terms of paying attention to the ways in which we can show up as Black folks when it comes to these kinds of things. And so I really appreciate her. Can you do these other ones? I'm sorry. And so I want to set the table here, and I want us to understand that there is a natural attraction for all of us as human beings, as individuals, to kind of have this tendency to peer in on other people's stuff, right? Even when y'all come and y'all listen to us on some level, folks are like, what y'all doing over there? What's going on, right? Because we are a couple and we're talking about different things, and we talk about our own lives, and we certainly aren't a Will and a Jada, right? But there's this tendency to either want to do one of two things. We want to lift people up and put them on a pedestal, or we want to stomp them down in the ground because they are not on point. There is oftentimes a real difficulty with being able to accept not only other people who we don't even know, we ain't even in their situations, but oftentimes our husbands and our wives, our partners, people who we're in relationship with. We have a hard time accepting folks for all of where they are and who they are, and all of their complicatedness. You know what I'm saying? And all of the walking contradictions that all of us have. We either are like, my goodness, they need to go and get Jesus, right? Because they wrong. Or, leave them alone. They are all the way good. They keep it right. We don't have a lot of room, and we don't have a lot of flexibility for the nuances of what it means to be a human being, and especially to be in a relationship. And we oftentimes, whether we realize it or not, we love to position ourselves. We do this on an unconscious way. Position ourselves based on what we're saying from folks. So, oh, I'm not that bad then. Right? We might not say it like that to ourselves or not, but you know what I'm saying? I've been through some things, but wow, they got that going on. Wow, like we just never been quite like that. You know what I'm saying? So we're a lot better off, or I'm better off than what Jada is got going on, right? Or you know what? Oh my gosh, I feel so validated, and I feel so affirmed by the fact that somebody on that level is talking about some of the difficulties they've had, and you see yourself in Jada's story. You see yourself in Will's eyes, right? Everybody keep talking about his eyes. We see you, Sabrina. And so we position ourselves. And I just want us to recognize that there is this tendency to do that. And we really got to pipe down and just allow people to be all of who they are. So I do give a lot of respect for the fact that they came forward. And I'm going to tell you, I was doing it. I was kind of like, I was sitting back like this. What? I was just like this. Like that story came out. Our son, he came, was like, "Did y'all see this? Did you see this?" And I was like, "What?" And, we looking and reading the stuff, and I looked at Aisha. I was like, "Let's see how this goes."
You shook your head
But
like that.
I did. I did that. And
Yeah, the church woman head
I was
shaking.
like, "What is this? What is this foolishness?" Right?
Yeah, the Miss Jenkins shake.
Let me tell you. Let me tell you why I did that though. It wasn't because of what a lot of folks do. Just the mere judgment of, oh my gosh, I'm saying she cheated, or was it not cheating? Was it an entanglement? Was it a relationship? Did he know? Did he not know? How he gonna go on her like that? How she gonna go on him like that? It wasn't even that. For me, it was about, I pretty much determined when I saw August, I was like, he telling the truth. I don't care what nobody say. That was just my own personal opinion. He telling the truth. There's authenticity that you can see very clearly, and I saw that. Okay, and so when I saw that, I said to myself, and I heard some rumors or some stuff out there that they were denying it. And I was like, you know what? If you're gonna do your dirt, then tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? If you're gonna do what's what, then tell the truth. If you're gonna be out here in front, not that you owe us anything, but tell the truth. Don't tell a lie. Don't stand on a lie. Don't do that. And this young man is somehow, trying to kind of speak his truth for his own sense of ability to stand in it. And you just gonna leave him out there like that, and just he just like, what is? I felt some type of way about that. But let me tell you, at the end of the day, my sense of judgment, your sense of judgment, all of that, we have to check that, and we have to really pay attention to our tendency to do that, and just allow people to be where they are. And I really think that that's important, and figure out what we can learn when people give us the privilege of kind of looking into their lives. So, with all of that being said, let's talk about the entanglement.
What? Can I get my initial impression?
Entanglement.
You gave yours. Can I get my initial impressions?
Yeah, I thought that's what you were about to do. I thought you were talking about the entanglement. Okay.
Nah, so I appreciate my wife, my lovely wife, sharing what she just shared.
You about to go on me?
I'm not about to go on you.
She said my lovely wife, like you set me up.
I'm not about to go on you, but the thing that I took away. Now, I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. So when I initially saw August conducting the interview, I actually shared with my wife that interview with Angela Yee. And so, of course I had questions, I had concerns, I was looking for some additional clarity. And so I couldn't wait, especially when Jada said that she was bringing herself to the red table. Like I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait. I was excitedly waiting and anticipating the day. I was waiting for it. And so I had to actually examine myself and question, like, why? So real talk, y'all, we do this every day. So we know what's required in order to make a relationship work. We do it every day. And so, when they position themselves a certain way, and when they engaged in that first Red Table Talk interview, I actually had some questions about just the dynamics of their relationship. And so I actually felt like, okay, this thing, they're about to come really clean. And just let the world know what the deal is and what the dynamics are in their relationship. And so I really appreciated that. And so I'm anxiously anticipating hearing more, to some degree, maybe even being gluttonous, because I do get some sense of satisfaction in hearing some of the salacious stuff. I mean, this is a human being. We do. And so I'm speaking just as being a human being. Mm-hmm. When you see a wreck, when you see a fire burning, a lot of times people, like, they race to the window, they race to the car crash, they are looking for the drama.
What do we tell our kids at school? Don't be running over to that fight.
Don't run to the fight. Yeah, but a lot of times we do. A lot of people do that. And so, again, we got to do a better job at disciplining ourselves. But the human part of me is like, yo, I want to know what's going on. So that's point number one. I just want to share that. I did want to know what was going on. And I was curious because, again, in being in a long-term relationship, I want to see how they make their situation work. So I was curious. The second thing that I want to lift up is this. When I watched the interview with Jada and Will, what stood out to me is that there's a lot of pain. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of hurt. There's a lot of brokenness. And the public displays of affection, the displays that we've seen prior to that particular interview, the representatives that they put in front of the world, in front of everybody else, to some degree, I mean, they're trying to put their best face on, but in that interview, it showed that there's brokenness at their core, brokenness individually, and then also collectively. And so being a therapist, I saw that, but being a man, and being in a relationship, being in a long-term relationship, being in a long-term marriage, I had compassion, y'all. Mm-hmm. I had compassion for what they could possibly be going through right now, because it's rough. It's rough. We have our own story
Yes.
as it pertains to infidelity.
Mm-hmm.
We have our own story as it pertains to drama, stress, struggle, and all of that type of stuff. And so again, it's rough. And so for them to lay that bare, number one, I give them kudos. They didn't give you the complete. They didn't give us a complete story. I know that for a fact. But they did put something out there. They were transparent to a degree, and I appreciate their honesty in that space. Now, when I say they weren't completely honest, one thing that I did not like in the interview, I appreciated again them sharing what they shared. But what I did not like was the weight that was placed on Jada for owning her shit.
Ooh.
I didn't like that.
Yes.
I didn't like that. She did what she did, and what she did was wrong. But she is not the only offender, perpetrator of infidelity, of stepping out, of having an entanglement in their relationship.
They ain't say that. Did they say that? Have they said that in the past? But we all pretty much figured
No,
out.
I mean, Jada alluded to the fact that, you know, you already got me back several times over.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I did not like in the interview, if you're going to keep it a buck,
right.
If you're going to bring Jada to the red table, we'll bring your ass to the red table too.
Yeah.
And own your stuff.
And isn't that what we do to women?
Yeah, we do. We do.
We do. It's like, yo, like, you can't do that. But if the brother or the guy is doing something, we certainly dismiss it. We rationalize it. And not only do men do that, not only is that a function of patriarchy, but we as women do that. So she was really, I mean, that's a heavy weight to kind of stand under as a woman. And I think she did that in a way that was as best she could. I thought it was integrous. I thought she had integrity in that moment. I mean, from what I could see. And I know folks were jumping on her around this word entanglement. But you know, I know plenty of y'all did this, went and looked up the word entanglement. Everybody was like, what is entanglement? Let's look this thing up. And so the official definition, for those who do not know, there's a lot of different definitions, but the one that most applies is a complicated or compromising relationship or situation. A complicated or compromising relationship or situation, right? So at the end of the day, guess what? People are like, oh, she's saying entanglement. It's a relationship. You was in a relationship, or you know what I'm saying, that was your you know, F buddy, whatever he was, right? But you're trying to make it into something that it wasn't. I do think at the end of the day that an entanglement, for her, it was compromising, right? I think that she was speaking the truth for her. But I also think that the piece that was not lifted up, and I think it would have been difficult for them to do that, is that I do think that when you have a position of power in some way, whether it's based on your status, meaning their social status, their celebrity status, what have you, whether it's based on your socioeconomic status, whether it's based on the fact that you are sober and balanced and well, and somebody else, in the example here, like August was, you know, at the time battling addiction, right? Like there's a power dynamic that's inherent in that. And a lot of times we don't pay attention to those types of things. And so when you are battling addiction, when you're in the throes of that, for those who do not know, it is very, very, very difficult to make sense of anything. And I'm saying this with the utmost kind of compassion for Jada, because what she lifted up is her codependent kinds of tendencies and the nature of that. So you have somebody coming to you, right, while you think that you're meeting their need and you're trying to help them and trying to save them, right? At the end of the day, you're getting something met for you because you have this codependent nature of trying to help people and fix people, and you get your sense of feeling good about yourself and feeling valued and validated. What does she say? I just wanted to feel what, y'all? Good. That was rough. I was like, wow. Right? I just wanted to feel good. To how many people have been in a place in your relationship where, you know, you just feel like shit every day? Like I just wanted to feel good, you know? And so then when you put in that codependent dynamic in there, and you want to feel valued and needed, and somebody needs help, right? And there's perhaps some level of intense emotional connection, right? I don't necessarily think, I mean, y'all are using the word predatory behavior, right? But I want us to kind of step back from it a bit and make room, because I don't know, you don't know, we don't know, but make room for the possibility that you know, broken people attract broken people.
We can't make room though.
Wounded people attract wounded people. Hurt people attract hurt people. And on some level, I'm gonna let you, I know you about to weigh in here. On some level, I don't know that there is an intention to be a predator. That does not mean that you are not in some way taken advantage, right? Because my initial inclination was like, okay, Miss, how old is Jada?
She's 47 or
47.
somewhere around there. Yeah.
47 years old, right? With this 20 something years. So at the time, whenever they got together, he was probably like 23.
Mm-hmm.
But like, I'm sorry, like you done been around the block quite a, more than a 23-year-old, right? And when you get with that 23-year-old, there's some level of insight that you have. I even started thinking about. I remember I said to my husband, so you mean he came to the family through Jaden and Willow, or one or the other? And so he was spending time and going on family vacations. And so then y'all was just like chilling and talking. So y'all was all around each other. And this is your children's friend, right? Judgment, judgment, judgment. And then you was getting with him and stuff. And you as a grown ass woman, right, didn't start to think about some of the implications of that with this young man, right? I'm not saying that there's not responsibility there. I'm saying that I think that oftentimes we don't recognize that people are broken and hurt and in a place where they are really not where they need to be. And so we put people on pedestals, and we don't know what's really going on in their heart and their minds and in their world. And so as a therapist, I just look at that and say, oh, wow. So here's this brokenness and this brokenness and all of that kind of got intermingled. So I don't blame or judge. Let me put it that way. I'm not going to blame or judge, but accountability is accountability. And I think that the lesson that we can learn from Jada in this situation is that you have to be accountable for what, even if you're not aware of it in the moment. You got to be accountable for the role that you played. And I do think that she had an advantage in this situation based on some of the stuff I already talked about in terms of being in positions of power and that kind of thing. And this young boy, like you got some insight that somebody else ain't got, right? And you have some level of consciousness about that, even if you are hurt and broke yourself. Okay, so I just think that we need to pay attention to that. But be careful
So
about the judgment. But it is what it is. Now you was about to say something that you like. Nah, shit. What you about to say? And you just said a second ago how we be coming for the women. Okay, but that's separate and apart. Okay, go
I
ahead.
did, I
Mm-hmm.
did, and I'm treading lightly here. So during the course of what we're doing right here in terms of this live stream, we'll
Mm-hmm.
dance in and out of clinical perspective as well as our personal perspectives too.
Okay, you want to
So
put
let
it?
me make that perfectly clear.
What is this right here? This your personal or
So
your
so
clinical?
no, this is my personal. So everything that my wife said is absolutely correct. So when we're working with clients, whether it be through therapy or even relationship or individual coaching, what she's saying is absolutely correct. There's no judgment. There's no judgment. It's a safe space for you to be where you are. The thing that my wife said that I just took issue with was around us not rushing to judgment to call her a predator. The reason why I hesitate and take issue with that. Now, y'all might take issue with what I'm about to say, but I'm perfectly okay. And this is, again, just me speaking from my perspective.
Okay.
The problem that I have is that I see men dragged over the sand, the coal, the dirt,
Yeah,
the
that's
rocks when
true.
it comes to them being in relationship with women who are younger. And so we can identify and say that men
And
who
substance
take
dependent.
advantage
Substance
of
dependent.
women who are substance dependent, that they are predators. Why not? Can we say that Jada was doing the same thing?
Ooh,
Why can't we say that she was a predator too? Now that's again me speaking from me. Now I'm gonna shift again back to
the clinical
the
hat.
clinical perspective. And what I'm gonna say is that we all are operating in many instances from spaces of brokenness. And so my wife, she lifted up codependency. When we look at codependency, that particular term itself, it emerged from adult children of alcoholics. So you had a substance abuse parent, and you had a child who started to navigate and negotiate their relationship with their parent based off of their substance abuse issues. So they learn how to do the dance. They learn how to engage. They learn how to navigate. They learn how to be around them and make things okay in that relationship because, again, they're trying to survive. They're trying to maintain some sense of connection. And so Jada's mom was substance dependent. She was a substance abuse user. And so she developed a codependency as a result of her relationship with her mom. And so in some instance, what I lifted up to my wife when I saw August's interview with Angela Yee is that Jada could have possibly have been trying to fix her relationship with her mom by engaging in the relationship with August.
My God.
That's
Mm.
how codependency plays out in relationships. But I want us to be careful that when it comes to this whole piece of judging Jada, we shouldn't. We all got our stones. We all got skeletons. We all got bags and stuff that we need to address and deal with. We do. We really do. But I want to be fair as well. And
Mm-hmm.
in me being fair, if we're going to drag, and I don't listen to the dude songs, I don't rock with him, I don't do any of
Who?
that. I said I don't listen to the dude songs. I'm talking about R. Kelly.
Uh, oh.
I don't
Oh.
rock with him.
I'm
But
sorry.
if we're gonna drag a brother across the sand
Okay.
for what he did in terms of dealing with underage, but
Hmm.
also adult women, in terms of manipulating and taking advantage of them, this may be one instance. But who's to say that this hadn't happened before with Jada?
But I will just say, I mean, I hear you and I feel you. R. Kelly had straight minors.
Yeah, he did. He
Okay,
did.
so
Yeah.
that's a little bit different,
Mm-hmm.
but I understand the what you're lifting up. Tanisha, our sister Tanisha said Jada has vocalized being unhappy, crying 45 days straight. How do you go that long without addressing the elephant in the room as a couple? I recognize both of them have blame for how they flow as a couple.
Mm-hmm.
My sis Tama said, and Jada may have been trying to fix August's mother's wound as well. So,
Mm.
I mean, let me tell you
And Jada
something.
didn't want to get married. She expressed that, like she didn't want to
Oh
get married
yeah,
away.
that's true. That's true. Very true. I think that there's a lot that is here that is triggering for a lot of us in terms of feeling ashamed about things that we have done, or that we have been a victim of, or we have been involved in, and so then oftentimes we take the opportunity to really kind of project out onto this situation and this scenario, some of our feelings and some of our unresolved stuff. And what I would ask you is whatever's coming up for you as you look at their relationship and what they have shared.
Yeah, we can't put R. Kelly and Jada in the same. I want to be clear about that,
No,
but I did lift him up,
no,
and I did that intentionally just to say that him messing with underage girls,
yeah,
that's not, yeah, that's not
yeah.
cool. But I just don't
But
want,
hashtag pick somebody else.
yeah, hashtag for somebody else. But y'all get the point. Y'all get the point. If you're gonna judge men
We
for
can get it
messing with
better
younger
if you
women,
not
then
R.
we need to
Kelly.
look at women who mess with younger men.
Yes, yes, yes. So let there we go. Okay, BM. I am not messing with anyone my children bring home. Period.
Yeah,
Yeah, right. Yes, not messing with anybody that my children bring home. So on
could it be
one
a trauma
hand,
bond?
we have that perspective, and I'm with you on that, sis. And then someone just asked on YouTube, could it be a trauma bond, right? What is it that we are connecting over, really resonating with the person that we're attracted to over based on past history and trauma and things that have been disappointing and devastating to us, and we have that heart connection, and you know what I'm saying, like it becomes a whole very convoluted, complicated situation. The thing that I wanted to also make sure that we addressed um, tonight. So all of that to say, y'all, it can be foul. It can be, oh, this smells like it's predatory, right? But it's also brokenness. It's also folks operating out of what they know. When you know better, you do better. It's also folks who are really trying their best to show up in the way that they need to. And there's also a lack of accountability that's also happening here in this
Mm-hmm.
situation. And I'm clear about that in terms of Jada's part, but I also have a lot of um, empathy for her because I do think that women, black women in particular, oftentimes we really get hit upside the head with stuff, and men are not. I mean, did y'all see? Let me just sidebar real quick. Did y'all see? This kind of getting gossipy a little bit, y'all. But did y'all see how you know what I'm saying, on social media, like 50, he posted 50 got some extra stuff in him.
Yeah.
He posted y'all know what I'm talking about, a little exchange between him and Will Smith where he was apparently reaching out. Now I think it was all fake. I don't think it's real. I think he made it up. But he was reaching out to Will Smith in the DMs on Instagram or whatever, Twitter or something, and he said, "Hey man, you all right?" And Will said, "Yeah, I'm good, man. We were separated." Right? And he said, "Yeah, but how's she gonna say that she?" And he put capital letters. She is the only one who can give permission for someone to blow her back out. What? right? And then he said, "F you, 50,"
Yeah.
right? And
50
so
is
people
Prince
thought
Petty.
it was people thought it was real. I'm not really sure if it was real or not. I think it wasn't.
Yeah, it
I
wasn't
think it
real.
wasn't because then I saw some other books. I think he's trying to get a laugh. I'm like, this man, he just be going on everybody. 50 Cent is a bully,
He is a bully.
Natasha.
Yeah.
He is a bully. And yet you'd be like, what do you say? Right, but it's he's a bully, and so I was like, dang. But I want you to just, if you could, baby, just for a moment, say a word about as a man, as a husband, kind of being in that situation. People talked a lot about Will, how he looked like he had been perhaps even crying beforehand, right? Or maybe it was just, the anger and stuff was so deep. Like, what was it? Like, what you laughing at?
I'm laughing at what Reggie said. Reggie said
Hold
that
up, Reggie. You gonna have, we
he
gonna have to
ain't
bring
no
you.
bully. He's a bitch.
Oh, you talking about 50?
Yeah.
Woo! Oh
Yeah,
my goodness.
Reggie.
Well,
Reggie
just keep
going
it
in.
100 and let us know what you really feel. Yeah, I mean, I was just like, dang, that's just cruel. That's
Yeah,
mean, right?
yeah.
But what do you, and
But
Reggie might
nah,
have
I
something to
mean,
say about this too. I mean, I'm interested in the men, the brothers who are listening tonight. Um, what is it? There's a different kind of, I guess, and I do honestly think on some level it's based off of patriarchy and this sense of your woman was out here with somebody else and you ain't got her in check or some foolishness like that.
mhm.
But what is it about the, because I'm just going, this ain't clinical hat, this my personal hat. I do think that there have been things that have gone on before. I think that has been alluded to, was alluded to on this past red table
Not just
talk.
with Will, but with Jada as well.
Yeah, I think that might be how they flow. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying? I don't know. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying I think that might be how they flow. And I think that what potentially, this is just my intuition, what Will was probably most upset about is not necessarily that went down. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Mm.
But, and you tell me what you, but that it was exposed and everybody is looking. And now all my, you know what I'm saying, people around the world, my homies, everybody is all up in our business. I keep my shit on lock. And you, what is this? And now I'm
Yeah.
looking like a straight bill in front of everybody. But I'm thinking like, y'all was already rolling like that. I think that's kind of how y'all, and not to say that there's never been any hurt or pain behind their stuff, but that they have their stuff, right? I'm curious as to your thoughts um, around this whole piece. You know, just the embarrassment and the shame for men,
Yeah.
and I mean that thing it's like deep. It's a whole nother level, and I feel like it's like sexist and
Yeah, I mean
all
it
kind of
definitely
stuff.
is deep, and I do feel like Will's eyes, his
But
facial
because
expressions.
somebody said, okay, thank you, Manon. I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I hope I am. So do men have a harder time when women entangle?
Yeah.
We're gonna use this word, y'all. When women entangle, do men have a harder time with that? Are you saying?
Yeah. I
People are,
mean,
yeah, they're saying yeah. It's a whole nother level of shame. And what is that about?
again, I think that it does emanate from patriarchy. Women, in some situations, historically in the past, were perceived to be like property. And so, if that's the case,
Speak on it.
there's an expectation that you behave, that you show up, that you tap dance, that you sing, that you do what I ask you to do, when I ask you to do it, and how I want you to do it. And so, if that's the case, if you get out of line, if you start to color outside the box, then it becomes problematic for me. Your actions start to become problematic because they expose a break. They expose a fracture. They make me look a certain way. So
What
it's
do they
not
make
even
you
so
look
much.
like? What do they make you look
I'm not
like?
even so much necessarily concerned about how you look. I'm more
See,
so concerned about how what your actions are making me look like. And
what is
so
it?
it makes me look like a sucker. It makes me look like I don't have control. It makes me look like, my woman, she's able to basically run the relationship and do what it is that she wants to do. And so, again, that's an issue. It's problematic for me, and I'm not going for that. And so, during the course of the interview, what I saw was if you just looked at Will's eyes in some situations, in some spaces
Mm.
during that interview, in my mind, I was thinking that he was probably thinking, bitch, how you let this shit get out the box?
But why he had to call? Why he had to say bitch?
His eyes said that. His eyes said that to me. Like
And look,
how you ain't keep it under wrap? How you ain't keep this under control? How are we even at this table right now talking about this? This is a problem for me. And so again, I think that it emanates from patriarchy because he's doing his own stuff. But his issue was that, yo, I'm seeing this being weak now. I can't afford to be seen as weak. I can't afford to be seen as a gun. I don't want to be looked at that way. I don't want to be perceived that way. And so my expectation is that we clean
ooh,
this up. You get back in alignment with what it is that we decided that our relationship would be as we project to the world.
They said in the earlier red table talk, that he's always been very concerned, or he was in the past at least very concerned about the image that they project to the world. Harriet, I love what you say. Harriet said, remember, he's an actor playing the victim, puts all eyes on Jada.
Yeah.
But and I hate that. I want to know if I'm saying your name right, Manon, but I'm thinking Manon. Manon said, I don't necessarily know if it was about it being public that was concerning for him as much as it was the depth of the relationship. That perhaps there's another level of depth to that relationship that was problematic for him. I don't know. None of us will know. None of us will know.
Now, let me say this though. So again, his pain, I think, is coming from a space of his inability to quote unquote control the narrative. I also think too, y'all, and this is just real. Like, I think that he's hurt.
Yeah.
I think that he's hurt because his woman, there was no expectation that his woman would be in this type of relationship with somebody else. And so for a man to experience
Reggie
a relationship where his woman is like defending him in front of him, saying that he didn't do anything with ill will, he's not a home wrecker. The way she said that, it was like, how you gonna take up for this dude when we sitting here talking about the fact that you stepped out on our relationship and engaged in this entanglement with him, but you're gonna say he's not a home wrecker?
But he's not. Because they were separated.
I know, but I
don't even know if they was for real separated. For real.
Yeah, but it's a dynamic.
That's what makes
Jada is still protecting him. Jada probably still got feelings for him.
Well, look,
and I think that Will got issues with that.
And he's as far as I'm concerned, he's a little boy. He's 27, and I think that again going back to
was I a little boy when I was 27?
Well, I was 27 too, so I ain't think he was a grown man to me. but what I'm saying is, it's a lot of. I think we have a responsibility. I think we have a responsibility when we know better. And I think that whether it's going to be Will or Jada or whomever, if he came out on the end of this and they were saying he's telling a lie and he's this and he's that, I would have a real hard problem with that. And I do think though there could be more done. I think somebody said earlier, I can't remember which one of y'all said it. It would have been nice if she would have given an apology. Might have been Loletta, instead of kind of being slick with it and saying I was in an entanglement, right? And he, she said at one point, I have no regrets because I learned a lot about myself.
I have no regrets, fellas.
In the situation.
Fellas, do you want to hear your woman?
She said she learned a lot about herself.
Hold on. If your woman, even if y'all were separated, and then she's banging, smashing in an intimate relationship with another dude, and then y'all are confronting the issue, for her to say that she has no regrets, is that okay with you? Would you be cool with that? I want you to tell me that it was I messed up. It was an issue.
Yeah.
I did you dirty. I did you wrong. I shouldn't have done that. For you to say I had no regrets, that's an issue, y'all.
And let us be clear.
But that's also a jab too. It's also a jab because she's aware of what he's done.
She's like, you done did a whole bunch. Yeah. So ain't nobody. I have no regrets because I learned about myself in this process.
Yeah.
Woo, child. Yes, Tamer. So, but let me just say this again. Let's transfer the lesson for those who have experienced cheating, infidelity, like ourselves. Those of you who have been in that situation or are in that situation. At the end of the day, there is no pathway forward without complete, total, and utter accountability. You have to be accountable. You have to be able to stand in what you've done. You got to be able to own it fully. And a part of owning it is to be able to look at not just what you did and why did I do what I do? And what was I looking for? And what was happening with me? And what all of that, right? Like to go deeper, but also to reckon with the impact to your partner and to reckon with the impact to perhaps your children and to everybody else who may be impacted by that, the other person, their family, and so forth. So at the end of the day, you got to own it. And you can't just be like, it was what it was and I'm good now.
It was an entanglement. Is that owning it? That's not owning it. What does that word mean?
What?
You already gave it that. I'm just saying, if you say that to me, it was an entanglement. It was a transgression.
It's a compromising.
It was a complicated relationship.
And complicated situation.
Yeah,
I was compromised.
I want to know what happened.
I was compromised because, I thought this was going to be on the DL, and here, several years later, now it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? This is compromising for me. Now I'm just playing. So let me do this, and then I want.
And Will was petty too, y'all. So it's not petty.
Cammie said it was her way of playing the situation down.
Yeah, exactly. Now, when I say that Will was petty, so he called her on the whole entanglement piece. Now, he did what everybody else on YouTube, on Twitter, on Facebook would have done, on Instagram would have done and said, what does entanglement mean? So he called her on that. But he was kind of petty to have her say, like, so exactly what does that mean? Is that, I mean, tell the people, what do you do? An entanglement? Like, let's,
You saying he was petty to say that? He had a right to say
yeah,
that.
I mean,
That's his
he,
wife. He
but
like,
he
what the
already,
hell?
but no, what I'm saying is that they already had the conversation. This ain't nothing new. They already had the conversation. And so what he did was, Jada was trying to position herself during that red table talk. Will didn't allow that to take place. He said, I want you to look a certain way. I want you to look a certain way, and I want to
Meanwhile,
maintain the way that I look.
we looking at both of y'all. We ain't fooled. We looking at
Yeah.
both of y'all. We looking at you too, Will. We know what's going on. And
Uh-huh.
again, I say that hashtag no judgment,
Yeah.
right? I got my fair share of stuff. He got his fair share of stuff. It ain't never no one person. It don't.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how it is. 36 soybean. He was holding her accountable. Yes, and they're both hurting.
Yeah.
I want to say this before we get ready to close this evening, guys. They had this little pound, right? Bad marriage for life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I personally, this when the old part of me come out. This the old. I consider myself to be a really
Harry,
progressive.
Harry hit you with the wire joint. She.
I'm judging.
I'm judging.
Look, this when the old part of me come out, y'all. This and early on in some of the, and I have not been a avid watcher of Red Table, but there's certain ones that are really popular. Usually the ones with Will and Jada, and I have taken the time to look at those here and there. But let me say this: that this whole bad marriage for life. Um, I do have, I know that the way that marriage and commitment is seen and looked at today, in many parts of the country and for many of y'all, it's just not the same as it was back in the day. And there are a lot of things that I think we needed to drop and that we need to continue to push back against when it comes to the traditional kinds of thoughts around marriage, particularly when it comes to one person being in control, particularly the man being in control and being in charge. And right, we talk about him being the leader of the family. My husband is the leader of our family. I'm also the leader of our family. We co-lead, and there are certain areas where he takes the lead, and I'm right back behind him. And there's certain areas where I take the lead and he's right behind me, right? But we are clear about what that looks like. And so there are a lot of places where we can transform and really challenge some of these nostalgic kinds of ideas we have around the strong black family and this person, and how they show up as a husband or how they show up as a wife or what have you. Um, and so I recognize that, but I also think that sometimes so many of us have been exposed to so much bullshit when it comes to committed relationships that we don't have no respect for marriage. We don't think that there's any value there. We think that, yeah, I love that they have this life partnership. That's what's up. Life partnership. What the are you talking about? Life partnership, is that not marriage? Why is that something different than marriage? Somebody tell me, type it in the comments. I don't understand why, like, that's like new and like, yeah, I want that Will and Jada like life partnership. Like when you got married, did you go? Did you not commit? Did you not
You
say in
committed for temporary.
sickness and in health, right? For rich or for poor? Did we not say that? That's not something different. So I do take issue with the fact that marriage is seen as something that like I don't know what that. It's just like this these constraints.
Yeah, they said
And
36 soybeans said it skirts the rules.
and life partnership
Mm.
is, this is more progressive and kind of hip with what's going on today. And I just want you to understand. I want you to understand from my 42-year-old self. No, I'm not 22, 32, but I ain't 62, 72. I'm just telling you where I am right now with this. I do not like that what seems to be reinforced oftentimes when we see not just Will and Jada, but many couples, celebrity folks, whatever. There is this attempt to get out of the constraints of marriage that feel oppressive, and to say that's not for us. This is what we're doing. And all I want to say to you is, what I'm saying, I'm all the way about like straight up. I'm not being oppressed by any system, whether it be marriage or anything else. I am all for becoming my best self with my partner and on my own. I'm all for supporting this black man and making sure that I do my part to lift him up and to also hold him accountable. I'm here for all of it, but I'm still doing that within the banging concepts of marriage. All of that can be done. Like marriage does not have to get a bad rap in the mix. And so I do have a problem with that. And this whole bad marriage for life, I do think that a part of that was them saying, hey, through thick and thin, through ups and downs, whatever, we with it. But you can still deal with the downs, the ups, the left, the right, the funkiness, the dysfunction, and the beauty and the joy and the brilliance. And you can still represent, the marriage can encapsulate all of that, and it can be freeing and liberating. Because I know for me, it has been freeing. It has been liberating to be with a man who loves me, who is there for me, who unconditionally shows up for me, who calls me on my shit, who's all over me with like, you need to do better with this, and at the same time makes room for me. And I do all of that for him too. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what? Marriage is an all right thing. So if you don't get
It's a
anything else,
beautiful thing.
hey, Devidra, my sis, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't gotta be like, yeah, we doing this life partnership. That is marriage, boo. Bye. What you talking about? That's what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? So that a little bit irritates me.
Yeah.
That's all I got on it. That's
Hey,
all I
hey,
got on
hey,
it.
hey, let me just say this, that again, what I saw, I said this earlier, but I did see a bunch of brokenness, in them individually, but also
Yeah.
collectively. Just because brokenness is present, it doesn't mean that a repair, a healing is not possible.
Say that
And
again. Say that
I said,
again.
just because brokenness is present, it doesn't mean repair or healing is not possible.
Mm-hmm.
And so, what you all witnessed, again, I give them kudos for having the courage to share what they did share. They ain't share it all, but they shared something. And so it gives us a glimpse into their relationship, but it also gives us an opportunity to dissect, to look at, to examine where we are, because we need something to rub up against to see, whether or not we in a good space or a bad space.
Mm-hmm.
But
When
even
they
with
see
that
everything
being
becoming
said,
for us on Black Love, they be coming for us.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
even with that being, and again, my wife, she just mentioned something. So she mentioned Black Love. So, for those of you all who, are fans of Black Love, we're going to be on the upcoming season. So in Black Love, we discussed a piece of the infidelity piece of our history. And in the Black Love episode, you're gonna see us interact, and you're gonna see me reach out and try to rub my wife because she's crying, and you're gonna see her like give me the bow, the chicken
I do
wing,
not give
the
you no
chicken
bow.
wing, and tell me to get up off of her. And so I felt some sort of way to that experience. And what I do know for a fact is that when you live on camera and you're going through something like that, like anything is possible. But
And
that's a
all
side note
interpretations
and all
are
interpretations. So
possible.
y'all
So
might
when
see
you,
that and be like, "Yo, why did Yana say what she said? Why she look like that? Why she give him the chicken wing? No, she ain't gonna
well,
give me no
I
ball.
did not give
Yeah,
you
you ain't give
no.
me no ball. I'm just playing. But you're gonna be like, why she respond the way she did
It's
when he was trying to
easy.
rub her shoulder? I was trying to rub my wife's
He feels
shoulder.
some way about that. Y'all see that? He really feels some way about that.
I do,
But
I really do.
we'll talk about that
But
when that comes out. We'll
yeah,
talk about that
but it's
later.
coming up in this upcoming season. But in any event, I'm lifting this up to say that again, all couples go through stuff.
Yeah.
And just because you go through things, it does not mean that you don't have the ability to recover, to heal, and be even better than what you were before. The piece that we spoke about in Black Love, that happened like decades ago. And so, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's a part of our story, but the reality is that you do have the ability and the capacity to overcome if you do your mother work.
Mm-hmm.
You got to do your work, and that's what I saw in that interview with them is that they still have to do their individual and collective work.
And I believe that they have been doing it,
Mm-hmm.
and we're all in process because I have seen that we've seen them over time, and I've gotten jewels from what has been shared. So I do believe it's being done, and they have to continue to do it like all of us. So I think if nothing else, while we've given all of our little tidbits and y'all have shared and dropped y'all stuff, like, let's just stop judging. Let's take
Mm-hmm.
from things what we see that is helpful for us, whether it be a forewarning or a flashing red light, or whether it be something that's affirming and validating. But let's allow people, especially when they give us the privilege and the opportunity to kind of look and see what's going on, right? Just a limited little piece, right? Let's give people the space to do that, and let's remember that as much as it is tempting to continue to look at other people and talk about them, what you doing? What's going on in your world? What's going
Mm-hmm.
on in your life? What's going on in your relationship, or in your personal situation as you prepare for your next relationship, or your husband or wife that's coming? Really pay attention to that, because when we put you on red table talk, what we gonna talk about?
Mm-hmm.
I know we would have quite a bit,
Mm-hmm.
and I know there'll be a lot of opinions. So we have to make room, especially in the Black community, because we can be, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna say that we can be really hard on one another. And I think, for sure, for most Black folks, not all Black folks, But for a lot of black folks, we want validation from a lot of different places. We want validation from our partners or our spouses. We want validation from our children, from our parents, of course. We want it in the workplace, right? We want it different places, but we want it from our people. We want to feel that we are supported by our people, and we want to feel that um, our people have our back, and it's a whole nother level when your people feel like you this, you that, whatever, and that's going to happen. It comes with the territory. You have to have a certain sense of internal fortitude to be in any kind of public eye, and put your stuff out there. But we have to pay attention to how we can sometimes tear down, just for the fun of it. When we need to really be able to speak the truth, right?
Mhm.
We don't need to dress stuff up, but at the same time, make room for people to be where they are.
And when you
Yeah.
make room for people to be where they are, be careful about your interactions and your engagement with them. I think that it's really important too that we lift up and we speak to the piece around just Jada's engagement with August and him being substance dependent. Like you know, um, if you're coming from a space of brokenness and trying to heal somebody, you can actually possibly become an enabler, in that process. And I'm not
Yeah.
saying that she was, but just that relationship dynamic in and of itself wasn't a healthy one. Where if he's weak, and then you come in and you attempt to console, to comfort, to provide emotional, mental, and even in this instance, physical nourishment to me, then that's problematic because he's not operating from a space of wholeness. He's not operating from a space of a whole and healed mind. He's broken, as many of us are, and what she did. We need to look at that. And if you're doing that, because you might be in a relationship right now with somebody where, you could possibly be codependent,
Some of y'all
and
know y'all are.
yeah, and
Welcome to the
you're
club.
there
Welcome to the
and
club.
you're manipulating situations and you're positioning yourself in such a way where you're taking advantage of somebody who needs your help, but not in the way in which you're providing it. So
Hmm.
so be careful and cautious about that.
Yeah, for sure. All right, guys, we are coming towards the end of our time now. I see a few comments that people are saying the Smiths have helped me to have good conversation with my husband and what we can do and not do in our marriage. I've
That's
heard
what's
that
up.
multiple times, multiple times. And so I definitely think that if nothing more, it's given us all something to think about. It's been a good dialogue starter around different stuff. I mean, they ain't the only people that had experienced some infidelity or cheating or trying to figure things out, didn't want to be together, came back together. Right? Like these are not new ideas or concepts.
But
They're
I
they're
hope
just
they
on
figure it
they're
out though.
just on Front Street in front of all of us. So let's think
Yeah.
about what we can take from that.
I mean, I really do hope that they figure it out. I mean, we are
Mhm.
all about healthy individuals and healthy relationships, healthy marriages,
Mhm.
and I truly do believe that if they continue doing their work, if they're really doing it,
Mhm.
I feel as though, and this could just be me being wrong,
Mhm.
just simply based off of what Jada is doing on Red Table Talk, but I feel like she's attempting to do her work. What was also a problem for me though was that I'm curious to know whether or not this would have been brought forward if August didn't share what he shared.
But that's not her. But it's not their. It's not her responsibility to bring forward their personal business.
So let me add. So this is a question for everybody that's
You know what I'm
watching.
saying?
It's not, but this is a question for everybody that's watching. So did you have a certain impression of Jada in her presentation on Red Table that this right here would occur with August kind of caught you off guard? Like, did you expect that this right here would have been coming forward?
Hmm.
And so, she speaks about authenticity. She speaks about transparency. And it's not to say that she has to share every aspect of her life.
No, she does not.
She doesn't. And I'm in agreement with that.
Okay.
However, is this a detail do you feel like should have been shared
Hell no.
outside of if August would have like pushed her to share it? You say hell no?
No, I'm
What do
gonna
y'all
tell
think? I'm
y'all.
curious to know what y'all think.
No. So one time I had cheated on, and one time in the back of the car we did like. That's just my opinion. I don't
Do
know if
y'all
y'all
think
feel
not whether
differently.
she would have, do you think she should have? Do you think she should have spoken about this considering what her brand is about?
The bitch said not caught off guard at all. No. Everybody say no. Nothing surprises me. Not caught
Some
off
I see
guard.
I see one yes over here. Yeah, she should have spoken about it.
Well, why, y'all?
Somebody
Why?
said we didn't need to know about this period.
I don't think so. I think once
It's no one's business.
no, it's not.
Okay.
Mm-mm. No, you see all the no's? No, I didn't. Thank you, fine 29.
Mm-hmm.
Akeisha. Hey, Nawasha. Um, Yeah, so I don't think, and yeah, the teacher said, is Will going to share?
Yeah, we'll need to
Is
share.
he going to share? Is he
He
going
need
to
to
give us
like you can't
maybe
leave your
some
woman out
lessons
there.
from you, Will?
Like, well, you can't leave your wife out there. If she gonna share, you gotta step
He
up to
like,
the
look,
table
it's
and share
called
too.
Red Table Talk with
Yeah,
Jada.
let Jada bring you to the
That ain't
red
my
table.
show.
Let Jada bring you to the red table.
That ain't the
Jada brought
show.
herself to the red table. Now let Jada bring you to the red table.
Mhm. Yeah, so most folks are saying no.
It's a few yeses here and there, but yeah, most folks are saying no. She shouldn't. She shouldn't have shared.
Yeah, and you thought differently.
Well, I'm just saying, like, I mean,
I think so.
it's
So
it's not that I think differently per se, but I mean, I understand that your business is your business.
mhm.
But at the same time, too, I mean, but I'm not watching Red Table like that. Again, I'm just going based off of my perception from the outskirts in terms of what her brand is supposed to represent.
That doesn't mean you tell all your business though.
Well, hold up though. So if
Oprah
you,
Winfrey
but
got a brand. Everybody got a brand. I
so
got to
let
tell
me
you
ask a
all my
different
personal
question.
business.
So if you sleeping with the dude, or if you have slept with the dude, and then you bring him on the show to speak about his substance abuse
Now I
issues, is
did.
that foul? Like, if that's foul.
I did.
Like,
I
is
did
that
feel
wrong?
like.
Like, how you gonna bring him on the show to talk about his
I think he
issues?
was gonna say
Is that foul? I'm saying some people. I mean, I see one person say that. Yeah, that's foul.
that.
I mean, to me, like, if you're gonna, I mean, and then so if you bring him on the show, then is it your responsibility to talk about
And when you were going through this, you and I had some
it? Yeah, so you're
relationships.
not telling the whole truth.
Yeah, and I had
So
some
people are
like,
saying that's foul.
and let's just talk about that a little bit.
I need to go back and watch that episode. Like, how should
um,
bring him on, and they was doing it.
that doesn't mean they were doing it at the time.
I
I
know,
don't know that
but
they were
that was a
now.
whole part of that story that was left out.
Yeah,
I feel cheated.
yeah. So yeah, common sense said that's hypocrisy. So again, yeah, I see some of the complicatedness of that for sure. But at the end of the day, y'all, take what we can get. Let's give each other grace.
Yeah.
Give each other grace. We can still call a thing, like Ian Levan says, call a thing a thing. It is what it is. But I don't want us to condemn, and I want to definitely make sure that I stand in the gap for Black women who oftentimes we take just the weight of the guilt and the you this and you that. I mean, I'm not here for that. It doesn't mean that there can't be accountability, but we can be balanced in that. We can look at that from a place where we utilize our third eye and not just judgment and arrogance and all that kind of stuff. Because I think that that's important. So, guys, we're getting ready to end now. This has been really, really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
Jay, somebody said she
Nawasha
was the
said
hot
she agreed
chocolate.
with me. Thank you, Nawasha. Thank you for agreeing. I wonder what Marsha
He
said.
was a
What
dear
Marsha say
family
about
friend, Nawasha. He was a dear family friend. A little more than a friend. But
it?
yeah, I'm gonna stop judging. So, guys, we thank you so much for joining us this evening. We appreciate you so much. We usually do not come on and talk no celebrity stuff, but so much was swirling around in the media, and several of you guys hit us up and was like, "We want to hear your words, your thoughts on this." So we appreciate you reaching out and connecting in with us. And
Do you want them to figure it out?
I don't. I mean, I guess I ain't got no personal investment in them
I
figuring
want
it
them
out.
to. I mean, all eyes are on them.
I know you do. You want all love to survive, and all Black love to thrive. He want every. Let me tell you something. I'd be like, "Boo, that's their word. They need to figure it out." He'd be like, "No, but how can we figure out how to help them?" So I'm not surprised, and I love you for that. I love you for that.
Hmm.
I do, because you balance me out with that. So I'm not saying I don't care about them. I'm just saying like I want people to be healthy. Whether you're healthy in relationship or you need to let go of that relationship, just be healthy. And I think that that's most important. So y'all, if you want to continue, if you're watching us on Zoom or YouTube, to be a part of this conversation where we talk about not just relationships, we talk about our individual growth and personal development and all of those kinds of things. Please continue to connect with us and join us over on therapy. What's that?
Therapy. It's that's what it's this
It's the
right here. That's
drink
all
my
wrong.
husband made me. It's therapy for Black folks by perspective, and you can find that group on Facebook. For those who are watching on Facebook, we love y'all. Hey Marnell, we see you. And hey Tama, thank you so much. Tama, we need to connect. So we want you to join us there and to continue to come together as we really try to do everything that we can as we are launching at the latter part of this month. Perspective, which is our online counseling platform, which will enable Black folks to get therapy in all 50 states. We're going to grow and grow and grow to that place, but we'll be opening up the doors towards the latter part of this month, so that you can, from your smartphone, your tablet, your computer, your browser, right? Find yourself a therapist and have your therapist in your pocket, so that whether it be through your texting, through a live video session, or through secure messaging, right? Leaving messages back and forth or what have you, you can get support and you can get that in a culturally competent way, because Black folks have particular and specific kinds of issues. We have certain kinds of cultural context that folks are coming with, and we need folks who can relate to us, and make sure that what they are sharing with us is relevant. So you can find more information about that at therapyforblackfolks.org. And then, of course, if you are looking for relationship coaching, which is different than counseling, you can also see myself and my husband and get more information about what we do at reallovehelp.com. We'll leave all of these links below wherever you are watching us from. And we just ask that you continue to keep pushing, be the best that you can be, stop judging, and at the same time, get the lesson. All right, guys.
All right,
We
y'all.
will see
Peace.
you next time. Peace, peace, y'all. Oh, we put the link. We'll put the link.